South Africa went through what Palestine is going through, and although, our situation was bad, but looking at what's unfolding within Palestine, it actually even looks worse than what we went through during apartheid ourselves. And Palestine and other Arabic countries were there for us. They were our friends when we didn't have friends. When we had to fight for our liberation in South Africa, they supported us. So it is only an honorable thing that as old friends, we are everybody's friends, by the way, but we also stand for the sides of humanity. And that's why we felt, and we are fortunate that it happened during the era where we have strong women as our Minister of Foreign Affairs, who also was the one with the South African government driving the Palestinian issue. So it's only on the basis of being human, on the basis of wanting to see peace around the world, that we feel.
Reciprocity is the engine of international relations, and President Putin is somebody who is truly into realpolitik. So it's you do this, we answer that, and Russia is answering in a symmetrical way. He has not yet said where, but one only has to think of West Asia. One can think even of the Caribbean, remembering something like Cuba crisis. So there's an announcement, and of course it's it increases tension, but I think that sooner or later this kind of arms race that we see, and this total neglect of any kind of other communication that we see on the European level. It's all about purchasing arms. It's all about new maneuvers. We have seen right now the largest NATO maneuver ever. And the scenario is all about cutting Kaliningrad off from the Baltic Sea. So we see something in progress that, of course, requires a Russian response. And President Putin and the Russians, being into realpolitik, they will prepare what they deem necessary. Of course, there is still some back-channeling between Moscow and Washington. The intelligence people are keeping up technical contact. So I am confident that things don't get totally out of control by not anymore talking to each other. But this warning of putting weaponry direct into, so to say, threatening also territory of NATO states is, of course, of a new level, for sure. But I am still confident that this crisis management, this war management, can be done. We all know that these so-called sanctions from hell, as the U.S. Congress called them back in 2022, have not worked. And I always make the point that the really nasty sanctions are the sports sanctions. It's now in Paris, the Olympic Games, for which Russian sportswomen and men had been training for years, and they can't go there, they can't swim, they can't run there. These are the really nasty sanctions. All the rest, economic sanctions, cultural sanctions, academic sanctions, I'm confronted with them myself in a university. You can overcome them. They are new partners. And for sports, you have to develop new competitions. When you see how cultural, economic life is upheld across the country, then there's something that one has to take note of. I have done it several times over these last months. Russians can certainly not be defeated, not in the economic area, not in the battlefield. So forget about the sanctions.